Okay, this is N4LQ calling CQ, the Old Friends Net. The Old Friends Net is an amplitude modulation net that meets here on 3715 every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. and on Sundays at 5 p.m. on 3715. Anybody that can generate an AM signal is welcome. Most of us run vintage equipment, but if you can generate an amplitude modulation, you are definitely welcome to check in anytime. So we operate in the round table fashion, so those wishing to check in, please call.
WB4ORK.
Goodness, Steve, where is everybody? W4KR.
WA4EVK.
W4MEC.
K1VVC.
Interesting band conditions. I heard the following. First I heard Buddy, WB4ARK, and then Stan, W4KR, and WA4EVK, Boone, K4GDN, George, and W4MEC, Charlie, and K1VVC, John. Anybody else want to check in? N4LQ, listening. Well, I heard your voice, Jimmy. K4JAL got you. Anybody else? Yeah, the band is extremely quiet as far as static goes, but some of the signals are a little bit on the weak side. But anyhow, we'll go down the list real quick one more time. ARK to KR to EVK to GDN to MEC to EVK and to K4JAL. I'll listen once more for some check-ins.
Repeat that, Steve. You've got EVK in there twice.
I did, huh? Who was that last station that called?
K1VVC.
Okay, I must have, I've got you on here, John. Okay, WB4ARK is first, W4KR, WA4EVK, K4GDN, W4MEC, K1VVC, and K4JAL. One more time for check-ins. No, don't hear anything. Okay, that's interesting. Well, it's of course winter time in Shelby. 67 degrees here. Brr. I don't know how to take this. It went from 100 down to the 60s in just a day, and I'm surprised. And it's drizzled all day long today. We've probably gotten about 1.5 inches of rain over the past couple of days. Anyway, I'm running the old Johnson Challenger and driving the AL82 amp to about 300 watts. And the horizontal loop antenna, and our daughter spent the weekend here, and we had a good time. She's gone now, back home to up to Raleigh area. So let's go around and let's see. I hope everybody can hear everybody. WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Yeah, the band is kind of quiet today. In a lot of respects, the signals are quiet too. Some of them are almost not readable. I didn't hear George call in, but you say he did. So I'm sure he's there. So the weather here has been overcast and drizzling here for a little bit. Been in the 70s most of the day, still is. And so over to W4KR, WB4ARK.
Oh, okay, buddy. WB4ARK, the old friends group, W4KR. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Well, it was a good afternoon here till about a half an hour ago. I got a phone call from the son of one of our former neighbors up in Michigan, who ultimately retired in Kennebunkport, Maine. And they lived there, ran a motel for about 15 years, and eventually sold the motel and retired. And they were neighbors of ours in Ann Arbor, and the girls were real close friends. And Mike called and said his mother died this morning, so the girls can be taking notes again. I said, Mike, it looks like you and I are going to have to behave ourselves. They're watching us. Anyway, on a happier note, temperature here is the same, Steve, that you reported. And also after Jimmy called in, W9IXX, W9 item X-ray called in. Didn't hear him. No, he did hear him. Did not hear George though. Didn't hear George at all. And most of the other signals are down. Buddy is usually about 20 over 9 here. He's an S9 this afternoon, so we're down a little bit. At least there's no static level. So this afternoon I'm running the Viking 500 with the 75A4 antenna, still the dipole up at 100 feet. And with that, Boone, here it comes. WA4EVK over east a little bit from here. W4KR.
W4KR in the group, WA4EVK. Boy, is propagation weird today. Stan, I copied you, but on the I copied you just barely on my 80 through 10 or 80 meter antenna, and I copied you pretty well on the 160 antenna, which should have a very big problem with that close-in copy. Steve, I don't know what's going on propagation-wise, but I'm not copying anyone but Steve and Stan, and hopefully it'll get better. And with that, my list has George next, so I'm going to that. K4GDN, WA4EVK.
All right, K4GDN, are you able to copy George? Go ahead. K4GDN, are you there? Yeah, I think maybe he's there, but I don't see him on the waterfall on the SDR, and I don't hear him coming out of the 75A4. So I guess we'll try again later on. So go ahead, Charlie, W4MEC.
Okay, Steve. N4LQ. And group W4MEC. I don't think George was there. I heard Jimmy. check in after Boone, and maybe he got a little confused or something, and then he came and checked in later. But when we called George doesn't usually show up on Sunday because he plays in a band at his church, and he's always doing stuff like that. But anyway, we're running the DX100B today, paired up with HT129X, as I have not fixed the SX100 yet. Leave me hit that halfway. Let's see what else. 58 degrees here. We had 2 1/4 inches of rain when I checked the gauge this morning. It's been raining off and on all day, so it's a good soaking here. It's supposed to have a nice cool week this week. I took advantage of it today. It's cool in the shack, and I've been catching up on a couple of things, finishing up Boone's Drake L 75, and couldn't figure out how come the filter bank wouldn't go in right. I'm scratching my head, and I took the picture of it, and there's 2 ways to put the darn mountain bracket on, and this is the reason I don't buy lottery tickets, because I put the mountain bracket on backwards. I just turn it around, and then it goes in just fine if you put it together right. So, proof that how lucky. All right, John, A1BBC is good.
Yeah, I'm here. W4MEC K1BBC. And I'm just running a modern radio today. The Yaesu FTDX 5000 and my old Ventron MLA 2500. And I will say, after somebody said that Phil's W9IXX this after Jimmy, there was somebody, a signal there, but I could not copy it, maybe it's Phil. So it is kind of strange. But I do want to remind everybody on here that this Thursday, August 7th, is lunchtime again. So there aren't many people on here to remind today. Hopefully, Steve, you or Charlie can do it on Tuesday and keep everybody up to date. Of course, Charlie usually sends out an email. So the 7th is chicken liver day for the North Carolina folks. So with that, let me turn it over to Jimmy. And it is very strange, very quiet. I'm not hearing any background noise at all, and not seeing any come on the scope here. And it's strange. K4JAL, K1BBC.
K1BBC, K4JAL. John, I could just hear you when you called it, and I've heard nobody since Boone. Funny day. Stanley, you're clear channel today, just as good as always. And I'm running the ART-13 and out on a in-fed half wave that's about 3,600 right up there with it. I heard you mention W9IXX. Let's try you. W9IXX K4JAL. Over to you.
Okay, K4JAL on the group W9IXX. Hey, fine business. You're weak, but copyable. Everybody is basically weak. Copyable here for the most part, except Stan. Boy, you're nice and loud. But I did notice it's a very, very long QSB. You'll start a transmission and there's nothing, and it will be coming up to almost okay. So, Steve, it's going to come back to you. I don't have much here. I'm on a Barefoot Pro 3. A Barefoot Pro 3 at the 10-set half-wave antenna. So, back to you, Steve, if you copy N4LQ in the group W9IXX.
All right, Phil, W9IXX, N4LQ. Yeah, copy you just fine. Surprise, surprise, on the Pro 3. Doing a good job. I guess that's about 25 watts or so. but I did copy everybody. The loudest was by far Boone, and Stan was well. Boone was plus 16 dB on the meter. Stan was plus 12, but Boone's audio is just really, really loud, and it penetrating right on through here, and the big signal and all that. So I guess your antenna is doing its thing, man. That's great. All right. Well, I made a couple of changes on this Challenger here. Well, actually, just one change, one capacitor, and I think it made a little bit of difference. I don't know for sure, but listening to it is kind of hard to tell locally here. Well, the temperature has dropped a degree. It's down to 66 now. And looking at the radar, I see that most of the rain is between Greenville and over past Charlotte. It's just all kind of a green color on the radar, and just light rain. And I don't know. I guess tomorrow maybe a little bit nicer day. It's supposed to get up to 80 tomorrow, so that'll be nice. Let's see, and Jimmy, copied your ART13 just fine here, and your in-fed half wave, and John, your, let's see, FTDX 5000 in the amplifier doing good. Charlie sounds good on the DX100, and of course, Boone, I guess you're on the LMAC, I assume, the AF68. I'm just assuming that. And Stan, Viking 500, doing a good job. Buddy, I'm sure you're on a ART13, I guess. You aren't as strong. Normally you're real strong, but you're not as strong as normal. So the band is kind of like it was last Sunday, kind of flaky. And maybe after a while things will straighten out here. Anyway, yeah, somebody mentioned the luncheon. That is coming up on Thursday. And I believe KG4IUQ Mark said he was going to take the day off work and bring his wife with him. That's dedication. And let's see, what else is going on? 160 was pretty good last night. We had a couple of check-ins. But we need more, so if you can load up a piece of wire on 160, it'll probably be real quiet tonight. I'm going to predict no static tonight on 160. Anyhow, let's go around again after we check first for more check-ins. If you'd like to join us, give me a call. N4LQ listening.
N4LQ, November 4 Alpha Kilo, checking in. DX100, I'll copy, over.
Yeah, it sounds good and loud here, Glenn, N4AK. So, Phil, you're going to turn it over to Glenn, N4AK, next time around. And Glenn, did you have anything else to report?
No, I'll save it to the end, and hello to Phil. We had an eyeball QSO a week or so ago. So back to net control, N4LQ, N4AK.
All right, eyeball QSOs are always good things to have. All right then, let's go back around. WB4ARK to take it, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Okay, Steve. Well, your signal is pretty strong. John K1VVC, his signal is by far the strongest on today. I'm surprised that Jimmy is not hearing me because I'm able to pull in his signal with the headphones. His is a little bit weak, but copyable. And there's a couple of other stations that are W9IXX Phil's a little weak. but copyable with headphones. So that's the situation with I guess most of the stations today. It's still drizzling a little bit, and just started a little while ago, probably about 3:30, something like that. And the temperature has dropped to 69 degrees, and so that's the story of the weather here. Our grass really needs this slow bit of rain. It's been pretty dry around here for several weeks, and we're getting a nice soaking, long, slow soaking period, which is going to be good for the grass. And let's see, I guess that's about all I've got. Yeah, so anyway, we'll turn it over to W4KR. This is WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. WB4ARK. W4KR. Buddy, usually you're well up the line before me, but it didn't work out that way today, and I didn't think about it. You were just about getting ready to turn it over, and I'm sitting here eating dinner, having a salad tonight, Cobb salad, whipped up one, and just about the time you turned it over, I had just taken a mouthful. So, pardon me if I sound funny for a little bit here. It was about 1:30. Was talking to my oldest son, Chris. He was at their lake house, which is about 25 miles west of Ann Arbor. And he said the temperature up there was 77. I said, guess what? It's 68 here. So, band conditions are strange. Weather's even more so. Worked on a project this morning relating to the 500. I've got it. Can control it. Don't have to use the G stand. I can control it with a foot switch. So, and it's working. And I didn't have to drill any holes in the 500. I found another way to do it. I noticed the Cliff's not here this afternoon. They were at, they went up to Berryville, Virginia for today's swap and yesterday's at, where is it, Richmond? Richmond or Roanoke, one of the two. So they won't, I doubt they're back this early. And I think Steve, Charlie called it with George. I think it was JAL that actually came back to you right about that time. Buddy, you're about 15 dB below normal, and I think everybody else is about the same amount. You're just a blanket on things this afternoon. Anyway, Boone, here it comes, and Boone, you were okay that last transmission, but when Glenn called in, I could barely hear him. He's 20 miles away. WA4EVK, W4KR.
K4KR in the group, WA4EVK. Thanks, Stan. Man, I've got a consistent receive problem over here. I'm going to have to go looking for the source of that. It's just way too consistent to be antenna or propagation related. I'm unfortunately going to have to admit to it. Means I got to really dig over here. Signals are kind of strange today, though. Normally strong signals like Buddy are very weak. He usually has a very strong signal in here. It's just the way it is. Not much else. Oh, my lineup is the Steve's right. It's the AF68 into Swan Mark 1 for transmit, and receive is an SDR Play Pro 2, soon to be replaced with a Clegg interceptor running a converter. Back to the reliable stuff. And with that, I think Steve, you said that George wasn't there, so I'm going to send it over to Charlie. W4MEC to take it, WA4EVK.
Prefix QRV is something. And matter of fact, there was some big holes in the prefix with the QRV as a suffix. There's only a couple calls that had QRV. So I don't know if he was being serious. And what is QRV? That's who are you, right? So shows up, we know. If he remembers that now. Let's see. John, K1BBC.
Yeah, very good. W4MEC in the group, K1BBC. Well, I would say everybody's signals are coming up quite a bit. I mean, substantially. Just like here, Twitch was turned on, and even, I couldn't copy Phil at all, and then the last time he wasn't strong, but I could certainly copy him. So it's great, and it's good to hear everybody. And so I know a couple of folks are at the Berryville Hamfest. Cliff, WB4NKL, and Chuck, IYQ. Both went up there together, and maybe one or two other people. I wouldn't be surprised if John KZ4B is up there also. So that'd be maybe one of the reasons it's a little light today on the attendance. And I can't say I did much of anything this weekend. It's been kind of a quiet, relaxing weekend. Decided to read a new book and just fooling around with a couple of radios, trying to get them to work again. So with that, goes up to you, Jimmy. And Jimmy, you're coming through fine. K4JAL, K1BVC.
K1BBC, K4JAL. Very good, John. You were about a S9 that time. Charlie couldn't hear a thing until the very end. Call sign knocked me down. Weird day. Buddy, I heard you fine. And Steve as well. And Stan and Boone. No George. Charlie, very weak. I didn't get Phil the last time, and I certainly didn't hear Glenn. So it's wish I had a better antenna day for me. I'll give it to you again, Phil, and I hope you can hear me. W9IXX K4JAL.
Okay, fine business. K4JAL and the group. W9IXX. Well, yeah, signals are up and down. It's amazing. Jimmy, I heard you a little weak. John, when you first came on, you were loud, and then you took a nosedive, then up and down a little bit. Same way with Charlie. Up and down. So there seems to be a USB situation. And Glenn, when he came on, I knew somebody was there, but I couldn't copy. Oh, excuse me. And Steve, you seem to be pretty steady over there, so I just have the half of the NFED up only about 8 or 9. And a lot of this, we're over 65 degrees here. I'm in Green Creek. And oh, that's interesting. I'm watching everybody on the, or trying to on the monitor here. We're 65 degrees here. A lot of this is because of this big thermal belt that we're in. Ground comes in from the northeast and kind of traps things going on here. I have noticed that the weather front will make a difference in propagation, especially along this side, and then also in the upper bands. I've noticed even sometimes, depending on the front, that propagation in the up in the TV bands and so forth will make a big difference, along with 2 meters. So anyway, I'm not going to hold it here. Glenn, if you're copying, it's coming toward you. And it was great to have the eyeball QSO with you, and I hope we can do it again real soon. 10-4-8 in the group, W9IXX. Okay, Phil, W9IXX in the group. November 4 Alpha Kilo. I should have probably had a different rig with a little more power today, but so I'm running about 110 watts. Copied everybody 100%, so I guess maybe I'm in the sweet spot of the band's up, whatever. Anyway, 70 degrees, cloudy, had rain, kind of a light rain off and all day, but the temperature is absolutely wonderful. There was a small break in the raining, and my son dropped by to pick up his dog, and he had a chainsaw with him, and I had a tree that had kind of grown into my beam antenna, so it was a kind of a sapling type thing, so we were able to just cut the tree down to the ground level, and now my beam will rotate a lot better. When the net first started, I admit I was asleep at the switch. I was reading a book, and my HQ 129 obviously hadn't stabilized yet, so it was not on frequency, and I cued the dial, and there you fellas were. So anyway, I missed a little bit of the first go round. Let's see here. Still playing with my ACOM 1000, and I talked to Stan. My ACOM 1000, it's just having intermittent shutdown problems, and I took off the front panel and cleaned everything in there, and that didn't solve it. But I had noticed when it first started online, it would be about 2,800 volts, and then it'd start changing. And if I wanted to sit there and restart everything about 4 or 5 times and burn up 30 minutes, once it voltage got up to about 2850 or higher, it stabilized and stay on. So I'm assuming I've got some bad caps. There's original YAGEO caps from Bulgaria. So I'm trying to find me some caps to put in, and I'm finding it's very difficult to figure out online what it is, but maybe I'll check in tonight, Steve, and you can give me a little help on that. So anyway, back to net control. Enjoyed hearing everybody this afternoon. And for LQ and for AK.
Okay, real good. Yeah, I hope you can make it in tonight, Glenn. Love to have you. N4AK is N4LQ. Anybody else out there would like to join us, please call. Nothing heard. Okay. I got a text message from Boone, who is Kerpunk. His TR switch apparently has failed, so I guess he can't receive. And that's I think he uses a SDR play to receive with, and apparently the TR switch has gone bananas. Oh well. Let's see. And 110 watts. I think Glenn, you said you're running 110 watts, and that's quite a bit of power, really. If you think about it, that's about over 400 watts or so PEP, which is pretty good amount of power. And you could double that, and we probably couldn't tell the difference. And my carrier is showing about 300, but my modulation is not up to what it should be. So, well, I got a phone call from a text message from Chuck N4IYQ yesterday, and he was looking for KZ4B up there at Berryville. Couldn't find him, and wanted to know if I knew anything, and I gave him John's phone number so he could try to call. So I'm not sure if they just missed each other or if John didn't make it or what. But I was hoping Chuck could check in with us here tonight and let us know, or Cliff, what kind of goodies they found at Berryville. It's got to be a long trip. Well, let's see, Stan, Roger, on your grandson, and had a good talk with him, I guess, and I've got 2 grandsons. One is working at a Saab dealership or a garage for repairing Saabs up in Tennessee, and the other one is right now he's working for an HVAC, and he's getting ready to head over for the National Guard, heading over to Poland for a year of active duty in Poland. So there's that going on. And no, I did not hear George. I mistook him for Jimmy, I guess. Sorry about that, Jimmy. You guys don't sound a thing alike, but with the signals the way they are, you just never know. Everybody's coming in good. Charlie I didn't hear anything at first from Charlie. Couldn't copy a word, and then there at the end, he popped up to about 20 over. That's a surprise. So conditions are just nuts. Anyway, we got time for, let's do one more round, and see how it goes. WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Okay, Steve. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for doing the net today. I think this is 2 nets in a row, Thursday and today. I don't have anything else to add today. The Charlie's signal has been rather weak the whole time, but with headphones I'm able to copy everybody except Phil. This time I couldn't copy Phil. So anyhow, we'll say 73, and hope everybody has a great rest of this weekend. So over to Stan, and I hope we're going to have a good upcoming week. W4KR, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. WB4ARK, W4KR. You're about the same signal strength as you were last time, buddy. Between a 10 over 9 and a high of 10 over 9 and a low end of about S6. But even down there, you're copyable because the noise level is pretty quiet. Steve, when you came back that time, you were 40 over 9, and you were a little bit above the noise level when you first started to call the net, so it's stretching out a little bit, but not too much. Charlie, what are you running an Apache or something else? Because the audio doesn't sound like an Apache. Not quite up there. And Glenn, you were, when you first called in, you were right at the noise level, and you were about 15 over 9 this time, so it's we're gaining on it. Not going to be able to make the Thursday luncheon. Got a commitment with the doctor, so going to have to do that. As far as Cliff and IYQ are concerned, they're probably not home yet, because let's see, Berryville from here is about 500 miles, so it's probably 350, 400 for them, depending on when they got out of there. I didn't mention weather before. It's been a sort of light drizzle all day. It hasn't accumulated very much, but it's a steady little batch of bubbles. So Charlie, here it comes, and we'll catch everybody Tuesday morning, and we'll see where we go. We'll see what the conditions are like come 8 o'clock Tuesday morning. W4MEC, W4KR.
Hey Stan, W4KR and Group W4MEC. Well, yeah, I'm running a DX100B with a Shure microphone. I don't know what it is. Desk mic of some kind. Crystal, but or ceramic, one or the other. And about 100 watts or so out. And let's see, what else? Signals, Steve, is when I turn the RF gain up to about 8, I got 2 more notches to go. The meter on the 129X is pinned. When I go full bore with the RF gain, Steve, your signal's so strong it has showing up problems with my AVC. You just store it a little bit. I got to back it off. So maybe I got a bad cap in there, or a bad resistor, or change value resistor, because that's a lot of signal. And everybody was Q5 or above. I mean, most stations were. Of course, this meter only goes from 0 to 9, so you know, it's everybody was 5 or higher. And I've never, on our net, I don't think I've ever used headphones except if my wife's taking a nap and I'm in the house on the Apache and the Mohawk. I'll put on a set of headphones then, but I've never needed headphones to copy anybody on this net, so I guess being at 2,160 feet helps a little bit. But it's funny how some signals, like Jimmy said, he could barely copy me, but Jimmy was booming in here. So same with Glenn, same with Stan, same with Boone and Buddy. They're all booming in. So don't have an explanation other than, you know, the band and the propagation. So I'll hold on here until you get the official 73 round going. But let's see, I think John's still there. K1VVC, W4MEC.
W4MEC, K1VVC. Well, having some QSBS signal, Charlie, which was really good the last round. This sound I could copy, but it went almost right down to the noise level. And, well, just to bring up, you know, one of the things about today is Lara always tells us, I only know about one thing today. Not that it matters, but today is National Watermelon Day. Santa Cruz Union, K4JAL, and I'll sign the list line, K1VVC.
K1VVC, K4JAL. Well, it's been an up and down day, and hopefully it's improving my hearing, straining that hard. I'm not hearing Charlie well at all today, and catch most of what John has to say. Glenn, you came through like gangbusters last time, but that's the first I heard of you. So I'll give it back to Phil. W9IXX, K4JAL, 7-3 for the day, guys.
Okay, fine business, Jimmy. K4JAL in the group W9IXX. Okay, yeah, signals are up and down as usual, or whatever. Things can get better and worse depending on how long, I guess, you're talking. Things change from good signals to pretty rough ones. So I'm not going to hold it too much here. Nothing particularly extra to say, other than it's great to be on here. I've got this thing set right now. It's probably about carrier-wise, probably about 40 watts on a Pro 3, and it's kind of pushing it. So I think it automatically does something here. So we'll have to see what happens. And with that, over to you, Glenn. AK, W9IXX.
Okay, Phil, W9IXX in the group, N4AK. Copied everybody that go around. And it's just wonderful, no static. Things have cooled off. So, Steve, I think your grandson is really going to enjoy his tour in Poland. I know it's probably, if he's married, maybe it's not going to be any fun of that, but Poland is a wonderful country. There are a lot of museums, a lot of things going on. Food's good, and the people are going to love them. The people are really going to be welcoming the American troops. So anyway, lucky yesterday I figured it'd be raining today, so I got all my grass cut. So no problems there. Thanks for doing the net for us,
Steve. Hopefully I'll get on tonight. So, N4LQ in the group, 7-3s, N4AK.
Okay, good to get the grass cut. I got mine cut Thursday, was it Thursday or Friday, before the daughter got here. And I hadn't cut it for about, almost 3 weeks because it just hadn't been growing very much. And so now it's starting to wake up again. This is the N4LQ, and this will be the end of the net. And we'll say 73s to everybody. Thanks very much for checking in, and do try to be on the air tonight at 8 o'clock on 1864. The old top band net should be pretty hot tonight. I think it's going to be a good night, really. I don't think there's any thunderstorms around. It's too cold. So with that, wish everybody a great end to the weekend, and we'll see you all, if not tonight, we'll see you on Tuesday at 8 o'clock here on 3715. This is N4LQ, closing the Old Friends Net.
Thanks for running the net, Steve. Maybe we'll see you tonight. W4MC.
Roger, Roger. I hope you can make it, Charlie.